Hi, this is Dr. Dave Yachter, the chiropractor. I have another episode here today to bring you some information specifically regarding the most common mistakes that we make that put our immune system at risk. We're going to talk about the most critical factors when it comes to making sure that you're not fooling yourself. And there's nothing that's going to compromise you building a titanium immune system. And that's what we're going to be talking about today, and obviously following up at our workshop coming up on Monday. And the reason why this is important is because what I've seen a lot of lately is something called a blind spot. And that's when you think you've got it covered, but kind of like driving down the road, you're looking in your mirror, but there's a part in your mirror that you can't see. And then, if you think you're clear and you go ahead and make a lane change, we've all been there at one time or another where we about sideswipe somebody or cut them off. And that's just because we can't see what we can't see. And the reality is that I'm seeing a lot of people that I'm taking care of, a lot of my patients that are really missing a lot of important points, seriously being missed. So let's talk about some of the issues here, the most common mistakes that put our immune system at risk. Number one, and that would be putting all your faith in vitamins and supplements. And the reason comes down to a few things. Number one, incorrect dosages. And I've seen this a lot since we've been testing some of the supplements in our office, and we'll know that people have been taking a supplement for this or a supplement for that. And then when we go testing and we get a blood test, we see that they're way off their markers. And again, we're under the assumption that we're taking these supplements and we've got this thing covered. Sometimes nothing could be further from the truth. There are some particular supplements that require other factors for that supplement or that vitamin to be absorbed. Other supplements may have fillers and binders which block the proper absorption, or the bioavailability may be affected. So sometimes there are quality of product issues. Sometimes there are health issues such as leaky gut or the microbiome inside of the intestinal flora, the intestines is just not right, and there are absorbability factors. Sometimes there are food problems, food intolerances, where there's inflammation in the gut, and all of these are factors, and you really don't know. So just remember, just because you're taking a supplement and we believe that it's enhancing or supporting our immune system, without the evidence of knowing that we could be in the dark and really missing big on that. The second factor I wanted to address is putting all your trust in a shot or a vaccine. And I'm not just talking about the COVID vaccine. Historically, when you look at all vaccines, whether it be the flu vaccine or, going back to H1N1 or many of the childhood shots that we've seen in the past, they always require boosters because there are several factors that get missed when we do artificial immunization. And the difference between artificial immunization and natural immunity is that the natural immunity historically has shown to be much longer lasting and much more complete. And incidentally, we're seeing that as studies come out now with the COVID vaccine. And what they're finding is that people who have contracted COVID and even severe cases, especially, they have much stronger immunity and are seen to as being much less likely to contract COVID again. And we're not seeing the same outcome so far with the vaccinated population. Now, I'm not going to go into the issue of whether you should or you should not be vaccinated, but it's very important that we're clear on the fact that just because they do have vaccines, it doesn't mean that they are safe and effective. None of these vaccines that have come out for COVID right now have been FDA approved for long-term safety and efficacy. In other words, they don't know how safe it is for people who've been vaccinated a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. They don't know what that looks like. They've released it for emergency purposes only. So there are no long-term studies that have been done on this yet. And right now, all the clinical trials for all the vaccines, whether it's Pfizer, AstraZeneca, whatever it may be, the clinical trials are still ongoing. And as a matter of fact, the global vaccination program that everybody's a part of now is really still a part of the clinical trial. So very, very important that you keep that in mind, and that you don't always put your eggs in this one basket that just because we've been vaccinated, we're going to be okay. That's not always the case. And as time goes on, I'm seeing more and more evidence to the contrary. So please keep that in mind. The third point I wanted to make is not getting enough rest. What does stress do to your body? What does stress do to your immune system? We all know that stress weakens your immune system, but how especially it affects your immune system is through the white blood cells. It decreases something called lymphocytes, which are the white blood cells which help to fight off infection. And that's not a good thing, because bacteria and viruses will always be among us. Every single day you have bacteria and viruses that your body is dealing with. And when your immune system gets weaker and weaker, it can be caught in a situation where it can be overcome with that. And then you're in the situation where your body is fighting inflammation, you have a fever, you've come down or contracted an illness. And this is something that's preventable. Unfortunately, we all have stress, but the question is, do you know how to manage your stress? That's really the question here. No amount of money is worth, or no amount of situation that we're dealing with, no amount of stress is worth our health, and most importantly, our peace and our sanity. So think about, if you are in that position, if you are feeling really stressed out, if you're feeling it, you can't think that it's not affecting your immune system. Now, it is a factor. You may be doing other good things to compensate, but the question becomes, when are you going to address this? Do you need a day off? Do you need a week off? Do you need a vacation? Give thought to some of those things. And we'll talk more about that in the workshop. And the last point that I wanted to talk to you about is making sure that you're getting regular chiropractic adjustments. The operative word here is regular. If you're off track with your adjusting schedule, bad things happen. And what I mean by that is that, everybody here who's watching this video, if you're a patient of mine, you know that good spinal alignment keeps the nerve channels open. When those nerve channels are open and your brain has clear communication, and no obstruction, interference between it and the cells, organs, and tissues in your body, it has enhanced function, the ability to replicate, rejuvenate new healthy cells, and keep those cells at their highest level of resistance. Your liver, your spleen, your thymus, your white blood cells are all under the control of your nervous system. So essentially, your immune system is under the control of your nervous system. The last thing that you need is interference to your nervous system, because ultimately it will weaken your immune system. Now, just like a cavity and just like cancer, you don't know when this is happening. So if you go too long between adjustments, those bones start shifting out of alignment. Those old subluxation patterns start creeping back, putting pressure on the nerves, shutting down vital nerve supply to important organs and tissues that are involved with your immune system. Yes, you're weakening your immune system. The most important thing that you can do, bar none, that has preeminence over any and all factors regarding your immune system, is making sure you're getting regular adjustments. So please keep that in mind. Now, you may or may not know that. Maybe some of you are watching the video right now. This is all new and exciting to you, but consistency is key when it comes to your health. So these are important as far as some of the things that we may be taking for granted, we may not be checking up on. We don't think that it's really important, but these are some very critical, important pieces of building a titanium immune system. You can learn more about this. You can learn more about the supplements that I talked about, making sure that you're taking the right supplements, making sure that they're being absorbed properly, making sure that you're addressing any issues that could interfere with absorbability, bioavailability, make sure that you're getting an evidence-based outcome with any supplements that you want to take that are supporting your immune system, removing the guesswork from that, how to improve your energy, how to prevent COVID, cancer, the flu, all of these things that we talk about, reduce chronic illness, and how to overall boost your immune system by up to 300%. We're going to show you where that comes from and how to do that. You can learn all this and more at our upcoming Titanium Immune System workshop. It's going to be a blockbuster workshop event. It's coming up this Monday on on the 19th at 6 o'clock. That's going to be July 19th at 6 o'clock. If you have not yet registered, you don't want to miss this. So please get your tickets now. Click on the link below and in the description box, and you can get your free tickets from Eventbrite. They'll be emailed to you. Register your friends, your family members, your loved ones. Think about who you want to be a blessing to. Make sure you get yourself registered now. There's limited seating. I look forward to seeing you there. So thank you so much for joining me today. I love and appreciate you. God bless.